going on, gang? Sorry, I'm just doing my preliminary testing to make sure everything's working here. Excellent. It looks like we are in business. Cool. Yeah, so what's going on tonight, guys? Yeah, I'm flying solo here tonight, at least for a little while. Having trouble herding the cats here tonight. Alex has got like a family dinner thing going on, and I have not heard from Dave all day. So, again, we all know Dave's history, and, you know, I've no astronomical events in the area that I'm aware of. So yeah, so I'm gonna go fly solo here a little bit tonight. So what's up, chat? How's everybody doing? And yeah, Robert, the man, hooked us up with a brand spanking new build here, quite literally just a couple of hours ago, and I have not even seen it yet. So I figured I could now would be as good a time as any to take this thing for a spin and just kind of walk you guys through some of this stuff. Got to thank Alex last week for stepping in big time and running the Twitch chat solo. That is that's not an easy thing to do. I can tell you that right now. That talking just for an hour nonstop on your own and doing other stuff is kind of a pain in the butt. So yeah. No Sammy, no cola for tonight. You're stuck with me. He's got a family gig going on here tonight, so yeah, that's all right though. That's all right. I said he did more than his fair share last week, stepping up. Let me know too in chat if, like I said, if my volume is not loud enough or whatever. So yeah, we've, like I said, Robert's been kind of hard at work, kind of cleaning up some of the odds and ends. If anybody saw Dave's newsletter this week, I was a little late getting out. He decided to do the newsletter in video format, and so he posted a kind of a YouTube video that kind of a little bit of the state of the state and kind of a little bit up to date on what's going on with the current build. And so it was very nice. It said I like Dave doing some of those video newsletters. I think it's a little bit I don't know, it's a little bit more personable, and like I said, if you know, don't have to read all that text, and he certainly doesn't want to write it, so I don't blame him there. So even from a couple of weeks, you guys saw a build that was very similar to what we have going on right now in terms of some of the functionality and stuff. But we've been kind of going in and kind of cleaning up some of the finer details, some of the language, making sure some of the functionality works okay. And like I said, we still need to do a couple of passes. Still need to do a couple of passes on art and animation and all that kind of stuff. Sammy, answering your question, what's the update news on new animations, since that's the main thing as far as really getting the game to new heights and whatnot? Alex is starting to work on, I am being told that the Dragon Sleeper is in really good shape. I have been a little bit out of the loop. The day job has been kicking my butt really, really good. And so I have not been quite in the loop, but yeah, Alex said, in fact, he's working on some Pro Wrestling X stuff tonight. He just wasn't going to be able to get here in time for the Twitch channel. He may do like a little solo broadcast a little bit later, but that's it. That's what the latest that I've heard. Supposedly, now again, I don't know this 100%, but supposedly I'm going to dive in here and take a look at the single player. Robert had mentioned something about getting rope physics working here, and so I have no idea if this is going to work or not. You guys can see even from a big difference from last time. We actually have things like character intros now. I mean, a little bit. Said it's kind of a fun little way to start the match. But like I said, I'm going to see here if any of these rope physics are working yet. I have no idea. doesn't look like anything's working yet. Yeah, if so, because especially since we don't really have even any running mechanisms going on here yet. I was hoping to see if I could try to figure out a way to kind of trigger the ropes to shake in any way. Maybe if I do a strong grapple. There's been a couple of other cleanups along the way. I'll see if I can try to trigger something really fast. If not, we'll just back out of here now. Oh, good. Did you guys see that? We have rope shaking. Let me do this. Let me cut off the turn off the camera cuts, and see if we can do that again. Yeah, the reason why we have to do kind of some of these other wow, boy, those things bounce. This is like an old school. God, do anybody remember glow wrestling? Look at that. Yeah, how glow wrestling had those really loose ropes, and yeah, but they're shaking. I'll give them credit. We got some physics going on there, so that looks pretty cool. Yeah, the reason we've been having to kind of avoid some of the other, like, kind of the more transitional stuff, it's just time. Like I said, Alex is busy with his job, and he's had a really kind of a very busy stretch this last month here, and so we've had to try to do what we can to tweak some of this other stuff that that's kind of the low-hanging fruit that aren't animation related, things like rope physics and all that stuff that we don't necessarily need like brand new animations and everything for. But again, like I said, Alex is working on stuff tonight, and it says that it's supposedly the Dragon Sleeper's in really good shape, and I think that's gonna be really hot. Me personally, I would love to start seeing running mechanics working. That would be my next thing, but we all kind of have the big man's kind of got his different takes on what's the most important thing. But yeah, I gotta say, yeah, it needs work, but this is not bad. This is not bad for an initial rope, because I said we've never had rope physics going on at all, and yeah, it just needs the effect just needs to be toned down a little bit, but that's not too shabby for a first pass. Let me see if I'll see if I can see. What's nice is the multiple levels of AI now. I can actually beat the computer now, so so this is a good thing. They have a special Eric difficulty mode, I guess. Let me see if I can get him to pin at this point. Whoa, did he just run? I want to see if I can. 2. Right, excellent. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you some of the stuff that that we have gotten working on, or what's been working the last. Yeah. Oh, and you can hit the button to skip the introductions. That's tight. Yeah, basically we've got, anybody might notice you've got a rather unusual hashtag up in the corner that says "Thank you, Nav." Nav is one of our most hardcore fans, going back, God, 6, 7, 8 years possibly, and to say that this guy's been putting in the hours on Pro Wrestling X in terms of playing it and finding very obscure bugs, it's been an understatement. Anybody who follows our Facebook page will definitely know the name Nav. He posts pretty much right away, but yeah, and I'm not even joking when I say this, he's spending upwards of like 5 and 6 hours a day playing this game, which I don't know how he's able to keep entertained, but hey, more power to him. But he's been able to find some really great bugs that we haven't been able to track down, because all of this stuff is just a matter of, you just have to really put in the time and effort and energy, and he's been doing such a bang-up job that we had to at least give him some credit with one of our, kind of have that space open for a little hashtag there. But yeah, for anybody who is not been on the chat, and I think most everybody that's kind of in the chat has been kind of one of our regulars. But you guys have seen this main menu here before. It's kind of our little tribute to Aki with the kind of the spinning ring. I love it. I think it's great. I would definitely want to get that logo swapped out, but these are all art things that we can clean up down the road. But we've got a much deeper options menu and edit mode and all that kind of fun stuff. And I can kind of walk through some of this stuff. And anybody who joined the Twitch chat a couple of weeks ago noticed that I couldn't do any of this stuff because the stupid music volume was going bananas. And thankfully, the latest build, everything is nice and quiet. So yeah, let's just hop right into the options menu. It's pretty standard stuff if you guys have seen some of this stuff already, where Robert did a really good job of programming, like I said, a couple of levels of AI, where you have basic, which is kind of what I'm going to call, well, you have inactive, which is what I'm going to call Eric mode, where it's something that I can actually win. Basic is also, I can actually beat basic, and then aggressive is kind of what shipped with the very first version of the game. And that's definitely a lot harder, and a lot of people liked the challenge, so we left it in there. You have the ability to turn on or off the heads-up display, like the menus or the meters and everything in the corners. You have the ability to turn off or on the camera cuts for like the submissions or some of the big grapple moves. I personally like them in, but everybody's kind of got a different opinion on all that stuff, so it's just a quick little, switch on and off. And then what's nice is we have kind of the sound effects and the global background music where you can turn that off and on as well. We have gone in, I guess, and adjusted the like the sound effects for the grunting, so that every time you did like a lifting maneuver, you would have like, the body slam or the brain buster you'd get that, as he's lifting it up. And I guess we have done a better job now of kind of randomizing that a little bit, so that it doesn't hit on every occasion, just so that it doesn't, wear on everybody's nerves. The other thing that's kind of nice too is we have now the ability to save and load these options from a file. It's not so bad when you've only got a few of these things, but down the road when we're going to have more customization and more things going on, it's going to be nice to be able to just kind of load all that stuff up from a single file. So definitely good things, laying a good foundation there. I got to see the credits. Supposedly he sped up the credits now. Yeah, this was. We'll have to catch how many typos there are in here because we've got. He's putting Dave. Dave is putting his middle name in there. Wow, how about that? Let's see what. So I haven't even seen this stuff. All right, customer relations, guardian of spreadsheets. Excellent. Dave Wrangler. Boy, is that not ever that's totally true. Basically, if it moves and looks awesome, Cola did it. Totally. Yeah, programmer to man. Yeah, I'll give him that as well. Yeah, for anybody who saw or played or saw Dave play the original build that had our credits in here, the damn thing took like 3 minutes to scroll, and it was just out of control. All right, so how do I get out of this? Escape, maybe? Let's see. Okay, there we go. I hit a button. All right, sweet. Yeah, and it would you would take like an hour to read the whole thing. So thankfully we got that sped up. And then I wanted to show you guys edit mode because we really didn't get a chance to do this much in the last Twitch a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, you have the ability to, such that we have a rudimentary creator wrestler going on here. You have the ability to kind of go in, and I'll just kind of walk our way through here and just call it, I'm going to call one called Vigo because that was kind of the running joke from the last channel. So how do I enter that? Character name, Vigo, enter, exit, escape. Okay, that didn't work. Sorry, guys. Guess who's playing this for the first time? Here you go. Edit mode. Change it. And all right, you have the ability to change the name. I haven't figured out how to do it yet. We also have the ability, like I said, to come in here and do. Well, this was working a lot better. Hey, gang, this is great. Watching me make all the mistakes and everything. Yeah, because some of the things we don't have extra faces. That's what my problem was. but again, you have the ability to kind of start swapping out pieces and parts, and anybody who's played any of these games before, you know exactly what's going on. You can make these things as beautiful or as ugly as you want, and as soon as we start getting things like being able to change colors of things and all that kind of fun stuff, it's going to be ready to really rock and roll. Sorry, I'm just going to make something super ugly here. And then you also have the ability to save the character, edit out, or load one, which is also going to be nice as we start getting into... can you hit enter after you change the name? Hey, let's find out. Enter or A button to name. Press enter key to confirm. How about that? Thank you, chat. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, okay, so if I'm going to do Vigo, we've got to turn the mask off. Vigo, see, that reference is older than most people here in chat, but that is the that's the lead, that's the bad guy from Ghostbusters 2, the guy in the painting. Alright, so I'm just going to make this super ugly, and then I'm going to save that edit, wrestler saved successfully, and then exit the edit. And then when we're going in to do single play, we can choose Grasshopper, Tyrador, or Vigo. We've got them saved in here now. So that's pretty tight. And then we will have him face Grasshopper, sure. And I'm loving the character select. I love the taunt. And I said, this is hearkening back to, I think it's WCW World Tour, where you're spinning around and everybody's doing their taunt to open it. So I think this is pretty, I love that intro, and it's skippable. We've already figured that out. But holy crap, that guy is really ugly with those boots. But hey, you know, that's all right. And not to mention with the skullet look going on here too. But so yeah, I don't think we. Let me see if I don't think we have any new moves. Robert was talking about he got. Yeah, the corner start is really nice. I really enjoy that. All right, let's see if we can... You also notice that blocking is now working. Again, that's like 90% of my offense is just blocking. Still waiting for the crotch shot. I tell Alex to make that a priority, but for crying out loud, he wants to do the Dragon Sleeper for some reason. So, okay, fine. The other thing that Robert was mentioning, and something that I'm really excited about, like this is to me like the biggest thing that I'm waiting for Pro Wrestling X, is the starting of experimentations of different sized characters. The fact that you're able to have like a large wrestler, a small wrestler, and then have all that mechanics working, that's what I'm really fired up about. I really love those kind of matchups where you have the speedy small guy versus the lumbering big man. Those are my favorites. So so I'm looking forward to that. Ralph, skippable, you mean the taunt only, right? Not the corner start? No, the corner start, if you don't want to sit there and wait for the here, I'll show you. We'll restart the match. If you don't want to wait for that corner taunt and all that kind of stuff, you can just go ahead and skip it, the little match intros, which is nice because some people just want to just jump right in and start beating people up, and that's totally respectable. Yeah, the other thing too is we continue to refine and improve the grapple animations. There's always these little tweaks. There's always these little things that make things much better. And for anybody who's kind of joined the chat a little bit late, for the very first time, you're seeing rope physics. It still needs a little work, but God, I think that looks really nice. Like I said, it just reminds me of those old wrestling rings that didn't do the tension because nobody was doing springboard drop kicks and all that stuff, and so they just had nice little droopy. I call them sad ropes. Well, no, that's not sad ropes. Sad ropes is what we had in Uprising, and that's an old reference. But you can see, yeah, that looks like that bottom ring rope. The tension on that one's pretty tight, but yeah, this is not. I said for a first pass, that's not too shabby. We're definitely getting spoiled a lot by Robert the Man. Okay, big chat. Predator Slam. Hello, been a fan for a few months now. Love the updates. Question, will you have bios for the wrestlers? I can answer that one first. Yes, absolutely. As we start getting into more and more detail for these characters and everything, we definitely are going to have bios that are going to be editable and everything. And it's going to be so much nicer, as Dave mentioned on his newsletter, that it's going to be so much better than doing all this stuff on a console, where even just like naming the wrestlers, where you have to like left, A, down, left, right, B, you know, and like typing these things out using an onboard key, like an on-screen keypad. Forget it, that's the worst. And so to be able to actually sit here and type bios and type you know, character names and all that kind of fun stuff, I think it's going to be definitely open up the creativity. Second question, with ring ropes, do you plan on having some of your guy walk the ropes like Undertaker? God, I think that would be really, really awesome, but I can tell you that's not going to happen for quite some time. We got to make sure that we take care of the basics first. For anybody who's played the game for a little while, you know that we're still in kind of this fun little alpha, beta, some kind of an in-progress zone, and so we're kind of rounding out the basics, so getting things like running, working, and all that kind of fun stuff. Where that's going to be priority, but God, I would love to have the ability to do some of that kind of stuff. Last thing, will we see special matches in Pro Wrestling X? Absolutely. That is the one, you know, another thing that I'm really looking forward to is once we kind of round out grappling and getting all these things really working, to do the different match types are going to be so much fun. We've got a cage already built, kind of like a little Hell in the Cell, and it looks amazing. We just don't have it active in the game just yet because we still don't have like the you know, the climbing mechanics and all that kind of stuff working. But yeah, it's I'm definitely looking forward to the match modes because that's where the fun is. You know, having the fun. You know, even things like battle royals and tag matches and hardcore death matches, all that stuff. We definitely want to be able to do all that stuff that like WWE games can't touch with a 10-foot pole. So that's definitely part of this. Whatever happened to the big wrestler? Is he coming soon? If you're talking about Grimhold, Alex is putting up the finishing touches and all that kind of stuff on the characters. If you guys have been watching our Twitch channel, you know, Twitch broadcast for the last few weeks, you've been actually, you know, able to see that character come to life, and that's what's kind of exciting about getting some of those other mechanics working, like some of the stronger grapples and the you know, the ability to do big wrestlers, because Tyrador and Grasshopper are both kind of designed for kind of like your 6 foot, you know, tall, more speed, more you know, more, not quite, I don't want to call them lucha, but just a little bit more, you know, lots of moves, more speed based. And whereas Grimhold is the power guy, and so we definitely want to have so those mechanics working before we start rolling him out. So he's coming. Yes, the cage is built. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the cage. We actually had the cage built for our Kickstarter campaign because you guys had seen kind of some of the screenshots that we had, so we needed to be able to obviously generate those screenshots, and so we even had a cage working in one of our very first alpha builds. But it was just like I said, when you can't, it's just a container. There, you can't really do you could do a little bit of rough climbing, but it was just the polish wasn't there yet. So we just didn't want to. We're not going to roll that out until that you know, everything else is done. So, but yeah, believe me, that's where the fun is for me. It's like the wrestler matchups with like big versus small and starting getting into all those stats. That's where I find this stuff to be utterly fascinating. And then, you know, to be able to play like an Iron Man match or, you know, because these things are all just kind of, you're just doing different rules to these matches. They're all, you know, right now we have a basic match that just has, you know, a very, you know, wide, you know, a set amount of things you can do. You can win by pinfall, you can win by submission, but there's nothing that can't say, hey, for you know, for another match, it's a submissions only match. So you know, pinfalls don't even work. You can pin the guy, but they don't count, and you can't win a match that way. So So yeah, so keep those questions coming in chat. If you got them, I'll answer them here. I said I'm sorry, I was not able to get a hold. I didn't talk to Dave at all today, and so I didn't know what his availability was. Alex said that he was going to be he's going to be working on Pro Wrestling X stuff later tonight, but he wasn't going to be able to make the broadcast. And you guys have all seen that, you've heard it before. We're literally 4 crew members, and every one of our crew members is on a different time zone in North America, where I'm on the East Coast in Michigan, Robert's in Wisconsin in Central Time, Dave's up near Calgary in Mountain Time, and then Alex is out in Vancouver on the West Coast. So trying to get everybody together in one room at one time is practically impossible. So so you guys are stuck with me tonight. Sorry. And like I said, I felt bad. Alex went solo last time all by himself, and that's not any fun. It's hard to do, but he was touching on some great topics and kind of some of the history of the Aki games and all that stuff, and it's just a phenomenal history lesson when you start learning all that stuff. And I don't think we even know the half of it. So yeah, I'm really fired up here. I'm loving the rope physics. It's just these little touches that start really rounding things out. And this was something that Robert could do without having Alex available, like to have his art, because we had kind of a nice little build up. We had a nice little build up there where Alex had a ton of art and animations in the pipeline, and Robert could just start like grabbing anything he needed and start building the game. Whereas now, Robert's caught up and is kind of playing the waiting game, and Alex is doing the best he can given his work schedule. We're all doing the best we can with our work schedules. My day job kicks my butt like crazy, and so I haven't been able to do much help in some of this stuff. But again, Robert's been taking the bull by the horns and has just been, like I said, rocking this stuff out. I was kind of stressing out a little bit about some of the art and everything, but at a certain point, you guys are used to having things not be so super polished, and if we can start showing you guys things like base functionality, you guys are pretty forgiving when it comes to if something isn't super polished and all that stuff. I think we owe it to you guys to, because you're our most hardcore supporters. Just showing you guys all the fun stuff that we're working on, even if it's not quite ready for prime time yet. So, yeah, turnbuckles are next after submissions to the head. That's kind of the goal. Dave kind of has like a little roadmap planned out of the things that kind of in order. And even people in our crew here will kind of have different opinions about that stuff. But for me, I think running ought to take a priority. I really would like to see. Oh, hang on. Whoa! Did you guys see that? Okay, how did I do that? Oh, okay. I was just holding down the boys, and this fun watching me get all squirrel on you here on ADD. I was just holding down Y button, but if you do Y in the direction, hey, look at that! He bounces off the ropes. Look at that. Now let's see if he's got an attack yet. Nope, no attack yet. I'll be damned. Although I think running has actually been working for a while. Maybe I should mark out less for that, because I think that actually has been working for a while. I was just trying to hit the Y button by itself, and hang on here. Oh, my controller appears to have died. Oh, I may have found a nice little bug here. Let's see if we can replicate this. Okay, there we go. We're back. Yeah, because I think running has been working well. I think I've just been doing. I forgot that when you just hit the Y button, he runs towards the opponent by default, and then if you hit a direction and Y, he will. I say, okay, now this is starting to work right. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm apologies for me being fascinated by the dumbest things, but I have not really done a lot of running in some of these builds, and so seeing it working and then bouncing off the ropes is kind of a mark out moment for me. So, just bear with me here. Hey, that does not look bad. Look at those rope physics. They're a little bouncy, but not bad. Robert, you are the man. Look at that. All right, I want to go down again. I want to run the rope some more. Okay, so I'm look at that. Eric figured out how to run. All right, you guys can make fun of me all you want. That's totally fine. You guys know me by now. It's fine. I will completely own the fact that I'm a total moron when it comes to some of this stuff. All right, I'm going to slap him into submission, and I'm going to check the chat logs here. Seems to move a little much through the ropes. Yeah, we're getting there. Corner starts permanent. There's a plan for full-on entrances. Definitely a plan for full-on entrances. We're definitely would love to get there when it comes to all this stuff. I think that's I love when you're walking through and like, especially when you look at things like New Japan and all that kind of stuff, how they treat these entrances, and even WWE is starting to get in a little more into it, the theatrical aspects like Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor and all that stuff, where they're really like theatrical entrances. I would love to do that, and so that's definitely the plan. But we have to do what we have to do for right now. Should I be able to choose what direction I'm facing the opponent when I'm picking up? That's all going to be, you know how in No Mercy you had the ability to kind of go in and like flap him over, like if he's laying face down, and you would hit one of the shoulder buttons, I believe it'll flip him over to be upright. That will definitely be a feature there, but that's again just one of those transitional things. Oh God, did somebody mention War Games? Oh. Yes, absolutely. I am such a mark for War Games, and I'm so upset that WWE hasn't done one in so long. I thought that whole thing with the Authority they had maybe it was 1 to 2 years ago, where they had like the big showdown of like the Authority versus Team Cena. Like that would have been a perfect moment for War Games. But I think logistically, I think it's hard because you have to put those kind of cages in certain kinds of arenas, because you end up cutting out a significant revenue stream, which is all your front row seats. So maybe we'll probably never see War Games unless we're in like, the football stadiums or something like that, or maybe Mania or something. But it's such a tough call because again, those seats are revenue, and it's going to be hard to do it. And God, I can't imagine that cage being cheap to put together. But God, just the visual alone would be sweet. I don't think we have any kind of Irish whip mechanics working yet. I'm going to run the ropes again because I'm such a mark. Doink. Doink. See, now that doesn't look bad. They're a little springy, but it's not bad. You tighten those up a little bit, it's not bad. And you'd have to kind of look at some reference video too. And God, who knows? Down the road, maybe that's part of a creator ring where you actually can set rope tension, and who knows? I mean, like I said, that's what's going to be fun about all this stuff is we're going to have the ability to kind of do this stuff so much quicker than like WWE games are going to be able to do. And I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see just how dynamic that actually is. Like if Robert is controlling that like via actual physics, or if that's just kind of a standard animation. Like I said, for me, I'm buying in that it looks like actual physics, but I do not know. I don't know how he's doing that behind the scenes just yet. So that's cool though. I'm fired up about that. And yeah, like I said, you guys can laugh at me all you want. I'm gonna run some more. Yeah, because I said we got a little bit of a spring back and all there. It's a little rough, but it's not bad. So yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if that's dynamic or not. Because like I said, I could definitely see that when you're doing like some kind of a creator ring, that you can do some of those, like the old British ring stuff, like from back in the early '80s, where they'd have it was like really just nothing but grappling. Some of the catch can wrestling. The ropes were just there for barriers. So it's almost like a boxing ring where the ropes were not used for top rope moves or you know, like springboard moves or anything like that, or 619s or anything like that. They were just so they could be a little more saggy and all that kind of stuff. And so it'd be interesting to see if that kind of stuff is a little bit more dynamic. Hey, look at that tap out. How about that? Vigo wins. Ghostbusters. Yeah, sorry. I know that reference is going to be older than many of the people in chat, so that's totally fine. Oh, hang on here. Let me. Yep, tell them not as bouncy. Yep, we're definitely. Eric, Super Kick Party in October. Are you in? Yes. For anybody, RP Coltrane's one of our Ring of Honor marks, and October 23rd. They are coming to Kalamazoo, my hometown. They were there a year ago, and it's Glory by Honor 14, I think, and they've signed AJ to appear. I don't know if the Young Bucks are going to be there or not, but it's a national TV taping in Kalamazoo, and I'm already working on getting a pile of people to go. So I am super excited about that. So yeah, RP, you got to get your butt over to Kalamazoo. We'll show you a good time. Joe, create an entrance would be cool. God, I would love to do that. Actual videos on the Titantron. God, you guys said these are all the dream things. How awesome would that kind of be? That would be to do some of that kind of stuff. Create a ring, yes. Create an entire venue, God, yes. We've got a couple of good venues in the pipeline that you guys are going to mark out for. Like, you guys are not going to believe them, because they are some of our. If you've been a fan for a long time, you will recognize some of the venues that we've got kind of queued up. But again, we got to get things like crowds working and all that kind of stuff. And so we're going to get there for sure. But that'll all be kind of after our 1.0 launch. But you guys are definitely going to want to see some of the environments we got up our sleeves. It's going to be really, really cool. Mods for classic pay-per-view arenas would be awesome. Hey, I can't wait to get, like I said, we're just scratching the surface, and just the simple fact that Robert has the edit modes working, like the plumbing in the building. I wasn't expecting to see this for quite some time, so it's really, really exciting to see kind of those mechanics working. Let's put back in edit mode, because I don't think we have character name. Because we don't have any new that many pieces and parts. But just the fact that we've got all this stuff kind of in the queue, ready to rock and roll. Was the rope animation ready for a while? Did the animation recently get created? That is a very good question. My understanding is that Robert did two things. He tweaked some animations for the ropes himself, just to kind of do as a proof of concept. But there may also be some physics going on in there too. Like I said, I am not 100% sure. He like I said, sometimes he writes out these really, really verbose, kind of like everything and how it works. And usually my days are very busy when I'm working through. So I just notice, oh, cool, there's a new build, awesome, and then I'll go check it. And so I'm not entirely sure what the specifics are for all that kind of stuff. So. Yeah, jumping back, I'm sorry, I'm going ADD on you guys. I'm going to the Dearborn show. I'm addressing RP. Dearborn is a town outside of Detroit, for those who aren't native. Yeah, they're doing, I think they're there either the night after, I think it's the night after, because I think Kalamazoo's a Friday night show, and then I think the Dearborn show is the Saturday, I believe. So we'll see. I would love, I said, I've never seen the Young Bucks live. And it would be really, really fun to touch base with AJ again. A long, long time ago. This goes back to about 2006. I crashed believe it was it was a TNA house show, and I was staying at the same hotel as the wrestlers, and I was after the show, and I wanted to say hi to AJ and all that stuff, because he doesn't know me at all, but he would recognize like my Pro Wrestling X shirt, and so I wore it to the TNA show, and I never really got a chance to say hi to him or anything like that, so I just ended up going back to my hotel and was like, yeah, whatever, okay, I don't want to jock the wrestlers and all that stuff, and I was either going down to go get something to eat, and I literally turned the corner, and AJ came down the hall the opposite direction. And he recognized the logo on my shirt, and I kind of introduced myself and all that stuff. And we ended up hanging out at a Bennigan's of all places. This is on like a St. Patrick's Day of all things, and we had dinner together, and we were like kind of hanging out with all the wrestlers and everything. And I remember Christian Cage, this is Christian from the WWE, came over and he insulted my food. I had like oh god, one of those gross sandwiches. I'm totally blanking on it. You know, where it's like a grilled cheese. It's like ham and turkey and fry it up and you put powdered sugar and all that stuff. I can't remember what it's called. And he looked at that and he's like, he told me my meal looked absolutely disgusting. And I was like totally marking out that Christian just insulted my meal. Although he knew better because I got food poisoning from that meal that night. And so that was no fun at all. But like I said, I'd love to be able to touch base with AJ again. And so we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted and all that kind of fun stuff. And if there's any kind of a, you know, hey, if there's any Midwest fan that want to make the trip to Kalamazoo for a Pro Wrestling X meetup, let's do it, you know. So I think it's October 23rd, something like that. All right, you guys are sick of listening to me talk. Let's play some games here. All right, let's beat up Vigo. God, that guy is so ugly up close. Wow. So yeah, get the taunts, and then yeah, I actually think this is really cool. I like having these little intros. It's just these little touches. Are we going to have a weight limit? Not like WWE, we can play a small guy body slamming the big guys. Could we get a weight limit like No Mercy? I definitely think that's definitely in the cards. I don't know about because there's got to be a certain limit. You can't have a guy that weighs 2,000 pounds, but there's probably an outer edge for all that kind of stuff. And that was one of the things that Robert was wanting to kind of take a look at, is some of the big guy versus little guy mechanics, to see if we can get that working. Cratering, could you add a 4-ring rope option or 2, which would be cool to see? Hey, who the hell knows? I don't know if I've ever seen a 4-rope ring. I've seen a 2-rope ring where the second, or like one of the ropes like breaks. I've seen that, but I don't know about a 4-rope. I haven't seen that before. I definitely could see something like barbed wire, because they'll usually have 3 or 4 strands of that. So I don't know. We're gonna have to just see how this goes, guys. I mean, I'd say if anybody can start dreaming it up, our goal is to have this thing be as moddable as possible. So, if somebody can dream it, sure, why the hell not? So, all right. Well, maybe what I will do here is I will finish off this match. I don't mean to cut it off short here tonight, but flying solo is hard, and I've had a long day, and it's hard to just kind of keep thinking of things to talk about. But again, like I said, I can't tell you how. We were just talking about this the other day, especially after the chat that we had a couple of weeks ago. That Dave was just like on cloud 9, because he isn't. You guys, as you guys know, Dave hasn't been able to make a lot of these chats, and so it was really, really cool to see how he kind of had this nice little afterglow moment, because you guys were all really, really cool, and it's really, really fun, especially because, like I said, this has been such hard times for a lot of us in terms of having all the delays and having a lot of people really upset with us for absolutely good reasons. And it's really, really cool to be able to come in here and just like talk about stuff and show you guys all the latest and greatest, even if it's totally broken. You guys don't come in and like go, oh god, that thing's totally broken, lulz, and these guys don't know what they're doing and all this stuff. You guys are always really, really cool about supporting us and having our backs and all that stuff, and so that's it's greatly, greatly appreciated. Random topic: who saw SummerSlam? I might as well. We're just sitting here talking about it. What'd you guys think? I admit I kind of had some low expectations going into SummerSlam. I was intrigued by like the main event, and there was a couple matches that like Cena and Rollins always put on a good show, so I had no doubts there. And for the most part, I thought a lot of the matches were incredible. but the finishes were all terrible. Like just some of those, just don't understand. And it was kind of a tough act to follow with the NXT Takeover. Which, if any of you guys didn't catch the NXT Takeover special, you've got to check out especially the last two matches. Sasha and oh God, who did Sasha wrestle now? I'm totally losing. Oh, and Bayley. They put on such a fun match, and the crowd was really, really into it. And so you definitely get a sense of Vince's booking versus Triple H's booking. And I'm excited for the future personally, because I think Triple H is calling a good game when it comes to NXT and all that stuff. He's letting them be wrestlers and all that stuff, and what they're doing to the poor divas on Raw is just it's just shameful. And so I would definitely like to see that improved a little bit. But the NXT Takeover special was fantastic. And like I said, I thought a lot of the matches, like I thought Rollins Cena was fantastic. I thought that was really, really good. Dumb finish, yes. And even Taker and Lesnar, I thought it was a fun match. And boy, I was feeling bad. Taker was getting his ass whooped. And but they had some fun little beats and fun little moments where they were both laughing at each other, and I thought it was really, really cool. But yeah, that finish was just, bleh, I kind of warmed up to it after thinking about it a little bit. That it started making a little bit more sense. I don't know if I really want to see them wrestle a third time, but I don't know. I'm actually thinking about I've been saying this a couple of years now, but I think this year is going to be the year I make my Mania run. And they've got an awfully big building to fill, so it'll be interesting to see if Lesnar does end up fighting Taker at WrestleMania, if they do like a Hell in a Cell or something like that. Who knows? But you figure Rock's going to come out to do something. But we'll see. But yeah, Baron Corbin. I got to tell you, I do not watch NXT as regularly as I should. I play trivia on Wednesday nights, and so I don't really have it live. And I don't know, sometimes I get a little bit burned on Full Sail University. It feels like it's just, I don't know, it feels too, I don't want to call it rehearsed, but everything feels just too pretty and nothing feels remotely natural. Like the reactions are they're kind of marks for themselves. But that may be, painting with a pretty wide brush. I'm sure that most of them are pretty cool, but we'll see. But I thought the Brooklyn stuff was much better. It's just more organic. It doesn't feel like when it's in a sound studio, it doesn't feel as rehearsed, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, lots of white and gold all weekend, and New Day. Can I just go off on New Day for a little bit? I think they're the best thing going in wrestling today. They kill me. If anybody saw Raw last night, where oh God, what's his face had the trombone going. Holy crap! I could not stop laughing for like 20 minutes, because he was even doing like the sad trombone, or he was playing taps at when the guy won the match. I just thought it was so funny, and their stick work is just absolutely amazing. So definitely props to those guys. I'm having so much fun, and then even. Xavier on the trombone was just killing me. And the other fun thing has been the primetime players on commentary. Titus O'Neil on commentary has been absolute gold on the mic. They haven't done it much in the last couple of weeks, and I hope with the Dudleys coming back that the primetime players don't get overshadowed. But they are the highlight of Raw for me. I still don't understand what's happened to Dolph Ziggler. I used to really love that guy, but I don't know, man. I'm not buying this whole Lana thing. But Seth Rollins is still, like, he's killing it for me. Killing it. Like, I think he's doing such a bang up job being a slimy, weaselly heel. And I thought I marked for Sting last night. I don't care what anybody says. I will mark out for Sting forever and ever and ever and ever. I don't care if he's 75 years old. I will still mark out for the character. I will still mark out anytime he does a Stinger splash. I don't care what anybody says. Yay, okay, tap out. I don't, like I said, I'm happy with Sting. I enjoy it. I'm having a good time with all that stuff. I know a lot of people don't like the nostalgia play, but for me, Sting, I will mark out for Sting every time. So, but yeah, all right, gang. What are we looking at here? 45 minutes. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad for here tonight. Almost 50 minutes. Okay, well, cool. Anybody else have any other questions? Please fire them in chat, and I will go over them. If not, I am going to start wrapping things up. I'm going to show off the credits while I'm here because not necessarily because I want to mark out for myself, but these are the guys that have been working, busting their ass. The other thing too is we're going to definitely make sure we get the fans, like our Kickstarter backers and some of our fans, definitely get some credit in here. But yeah, these are the guys. I don't know why Dave decided to use his middle name. Maybe it's maybe it's this new gimmick or something. But yeah, I don't mind being a Dave Wrangler. That's fine. I can live with that. We'll have to work on some of these job titles, but yeah, and definitely Alex has definitely got to give. We got to give some credit, big time, because the stuff looks gorgeous and the animations are gorgeous. And then yep, Robert is all the programmer and demand, and you got to give him some credit, guys. Like I said, he has been phenomenal and fantastic, and I cannot put this crew over enough for how well they have stepped up to the plate and really delivered, especially like I said in the last 3 months. It's been fantastic. It's no longer do I have that sick feeling in my stomach anytime I hear the words Pro Wrestling X, because there was a while there that it was just so stressful knowing that we were letting everybody down, and so yeah, we'll definitely see how it goes. RP Coltrane, how do I get a hold of you to get a meetup gimmick in Kalamazoo? If you do me a favor and send an email to eric@prowrestlingx.com, that will go right to me, and we can touch base from there, my friend. And who knows, if we do a little meetup. Like I said, I've got I think 3 or 4 other people that we're going to try to get, and I also have an inside source. My very good friend works as the marketing coordinator for the Wing Stadium, where that thing's going to be in, and so I might be able to get a good hookup on tickets. I have no idea. I probably shouldn't say that in a stream, because then it's going to be like recorded for his posterity, and then when my broke ass is going to have to get down there and pay the fine, pay the fee, pay the tickets just like everybody else. I'm going to feel like a total chump. But it'd be fun to meet all you guys, and that's one of my dreams, is down the road someday is to not necessarily do like what the indie guys do, where they just kind of travel from show to show and hook up with their little merch booth and get their t-shirts out, and yeah, we could sell some Steam keys, we could sell all that kind of stuff, and it'd be just fun to meet everybody, start putting some faces, because some of you guys go back with us, God, 12 years plus, and so it would be awesome to finally say hi to you guys and meet everybody in person. I know I would love to do that, just take a summer and just travel the road and meet people and sell the game at an indie show and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get weapons in the game, like stop sign or something. Absolutely, we got weapons coming. That's actually part of our Kickstarter deliverables. You guys funded us beyond a certain threshold, and that opened up some weapons. I have no idea which ones are going to be first. I know floating around here in our miscellaneous library of art somewhere, we've got a nice little barbed wire bat floating around, and I know we've got a steel chair floating around. So I definitely know we've got them. It's just a matter of figuring out which ones are which, and which ones are getting in and getting the mechanics working, because you have to kind of be able to hold the weapon and pick them up and drop them and all that kind of fun. Yeah, black chair, absolutely. I would love a Big Show folding chair like the one that he pulled out. I don't know, maybe it was a year ago. I can't remember what, the pay-per-view or something. It was like the world's largest folding chair. This thing must have been like, God, this thing looked like it was 5 feet long. It was just ridiculous. Most of you guys in the chat, you guys are hardcore. You don't know exactly what I'm talking about. So I would love to have like oversized Big Show chair. So we'll see. But definitely weapons are definitely on track. So, all right, gang, I am going to wrap up for this evening. Thank you, as always, for hanging out. You guys rock. For those who are new, I think most of you guys are veterans, but for those who are new, ProWrestlingX.com, Facebook.com/ProWrestlingX, and at ProWrestlingX on Twitter. On our website, we've got an email list. Dave writes a newsletter every Friday. Doesn't always go out on every Friday, but it keeps you up to date. And then the other thing too, guys, something that that really helps us out. I'm not going to start whoring, like begging for votes, but one thing that really helps us is if you have bought the game on Steam, to either leave us a positive review or give us some kind of a thumbs up. Because what we're trying to do is we kind of, and deservedly so, got completely buried with negative reviews while we weren't updating the game. And so we're trying to work really hard to turn those reviews to mostly positive. And we're getting really close to being able to get us out of even like mixed, just so that when we have new people that come to the game and they come on Steam and they see like, negative or mixed, it holds people off from like actually buying the game and seeing all the new wonderful stuff that we've got going on. So if you have a chance, we definitely appreciate, and that also goes for like not necessarily negative feedback, but if you guys see things while you're playing the game that are broken, oh my goodness, please put that stuff in our Steam forums. We are checking that stuff constantly, and Robert is all over it. And sometimes he will see a bug and like turn around in like 10 minutes and say, okay, I fixed that one. And so that is, you guys are our best quality control when it comes to that stuff. So thank you in advance, and thank you for all your previous efforts there. So with that, thank you very much, guys. Sorry it was just me here tonight, but it's always a pleasure. And yeah, we'll see you down the road. We'll, like I said, try to do this next week too. So take care, guys. See ya.